Welcome everyone. Welcome to the lecture series on digital electronics. It is a subject in third semester Diploma ETCE, course code ETCE/DE/S3. Today we are in lecture number 22. I am Paulo Sridhar, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. So, in the starting of lecture number 21, we will go through the course objectives and which module we are going through. Our subject digital electronics, it is having total number of lectures 60 and the credit is 4 credit. And we are in module 3 or unit 3, that is combination logic circuits. This unit number 3, combination logic circuits, consists of 4 subunits. Unit 3.1 is arithmetic circuits, half adder, full adder, half subtractor and full subtractor, parallel and serial full adders. All these are in this arithmetic circuits. Next, unit 3.2, which is a subunit of unit number 3, combination logic circuit, is design of circuits using universal gates. Next is unit 3.3, code converters, encoders, decoders, multiplexers and demultiplexers. 3.4 is parity generator, checker and comparator. Now let us have a look on the course objectives. The students will be able to, one is do conversion of the number systems. 3, understand the concept of the logic gates and its operations. Third one is design simple logic circuits using logic gates. Fourth one is design of combinational circuit. Fifth one is design of sequential circuit. Sixth is gain the comprehensive idea on various memory devices. 7, understand analog to digital conversion and also digital to analog conversion techniques. 8th is understand different logic families and their comparison. Now, after the completion of the course, the students will be able to accomplish all of these 8 course objectives. Among this, in this module, that is unit number 3, combination logic circuit, this course objective, that is 4th number's course objective, that is design of the combination circuit, this will be accomplished. So this course objective is in red color, so that everyone can understand that this course objective is accomplished in this unit 3. Now, let us have a quick lesson plan of today's lecture number 22. Now, we are in unit 3, that is combination logic circuit, and today we will be studying subunit 3.3, that is code converters, encoders, decoders, multiplexers and demultiplexers. Among them, we will be studying Boolean function implementation using multiplexer. This already we have started in the previous lecture. We will be continuing some of the problems that were left in the previous lecture. Next is decoders and also cascading of the decoders. Decoders and also the cascading of the decoders, all these are very important. Now, before starting of today's lecture number 22, let us have a quick recap of the previous lectures. So, starting from lecture number 1, we have seen how our syllabus is going and also the course objectives. Which course objectives will be fulfilled in which unit? All this we have discussed from the first lecture. Next, we have seen about the number systems. We have discussed different number systems and we have also learned about the conversions from one number systems to the other. We know that the number systems are of different types, such as the decimal number system, then binary number system, octal number system and hexadecimal number systems. Next, we have studied about the logic gates. In the logic gates, we have seen there are mainly three types of gates. First is the basic gates, next is the universal gates, and also the exclusive gates. We have seen how to design some functions using the logic gates. Next, we have come to the minimization techniques. In the minimization techniques, we have seen the Boolean algebra, and after that we have learned the K-map. Normally, minimization techniques means using the K-map. But why we are using K-map? Before that, we need to know the Boolean functions. And also, the functions can be represented as mean terms and the max terms, that is SOP form and the POS form. All this we have studied in various lectures, that is the previous lectures. Next, we have come to this module, that is unit number 3, combination logic circuits. In the combination logic circuits, we have studied about the differences between combination logic circuits and the sequential logic circuit. Next, we have read about the adders and the subtractors. In the adders, we have learnt about the full adder, half adder, and in subtractors, we have learnt about the half subtractor and the full subtractor. Next, we have started in the previous lecture about the multiplexers. Now you know that multiplexers are what? Data selectors. That is, depending upon the select lines, input will be selected at the output. So this is a very important concept of the multiplexer circuits. That is, inputs will be selected at the output depending on the select lines. And we have seen in multiplexers how to design the higher order multiplexers using the lower order multiplexers. Next, we have seen how to design the Boolean functions using the multiplexers. That is, we had previous example we had done about a 4 variable function. Now, in this lecture starting, we will be doing a 3 variable function. Now, let us start our today's lecture. So, let us start today's lecture number 22, that is multiplexers. Already we have seen that the multiplexers are the data selectors. So, and we have seen the implementation of the Boolean expressions using the multiplexers. That is, we have done for 4 variables, and today we will be doing for 3 variables. Now this is, we have to implement function of a, b, c, that is a comma b comma c is equal to summation of mean terms 1, 3, 5 and 6 using a multiplexer. Now, in the previous lecture we had seen that there were 4 variables. Now here there are 3 variables. Now this given function has 3 variables. Hence, it can be implemented using a multiplexer having 2 select lines. Already I have told you that, let me tell you again that these 3 variables have to be presented in n plus 1 terms. So, n means if 3 is represented in n plus 1, so it will be 2 plus of 1. So, 2 is the number of select lines. Number of select line 2 means we have to use a multiplexer, that is 4:1 multiplexer we have to use. So that's why it is written here that it can be implemented using a multiplexer with 2 select lines and 4 data inputs. So let us make a table like this. Already you know that in this type of implementations using multiplexers, we have to make a table. Now here, let us write the 4 data inputs, D0, D1, D2 and D3. And here we have written A and A bar. And there are 8 boxes, so we will be writing the mean terms. Starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now we will look for the mean terms that are present in this particular expression. That is, what are the mean terms present? It is 1, 3, 5 and 6. So encircle the terms that are present here. So it is 1, 3, 5 and 6. Now we will see the values. See, in this case, no mean terms are present in the expression. So it will be 0. As both the mean terms are present here, so it will be 1. In this case, 2 and 6. So 6 is present here. So it will be A. Why? Because 6 corresponds to A. And this in this boxes, 3 is present. That is 3 is encircled. So 3 corresponds to A bar. Now, what will be the values? 0, 1, A and A bar. Now, as there are 3 variables, A, B and C, so we have taken B and C as the select lines. So B and C as the select lines, and A will be going as the input. That's why it is A and A bar. Now we have find out that the inputs are 0, 1, A and A bar. Now we will be implementing it in a circuit. Now this is the logic circuit. Now see, D0 is equal to 0. So 0 means you can ground the circuit. So D0 is connected to ground. This means 0 volts. Next is D1 is connected to 1. So 1 means you are giving some positive voltage. So in digital circuits, you are giving plus 5 volt means 1. So plus 5 volt means 1. We are giving plus 5 volt to D1. Next is D2. D2 means A. D2 is connected to A and D3 is connected to A bar. So D3 is connected to A bar. And Y, this Y is the output, is equal to F is equal to summation of mean terms 1, 3, 5 and 6. So this is the implementation of this function, that is F A comma B comma C is equal to summation of mean terms 1, 3, 5, 6 using a multiplexer. Next, moving to the next slide. This we have to implement a full adder using a 4:1 multiplexer. This is a very important part in the case of multiplexers because it falls in the implementation of the multiplexers. So this may come in the semesters. Here we have done about the full adders, that is implementing full adder using a 4:1 multiplexer. You can also do full subtractor. This will be your assignment. So what is your assignment? You have to implement full subtractor using a 4:1 multiplexer. Now see, we have, as the question is given that implement a full adder using a 4:1 multiplexer. So full adder, first of all, just write the truth table. Here the inputs are A, B and C in, and the outputs are carry and sum, or C out and sum. So just we have written the truth tables. That is for 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0 and 1. Next is 0, 1, 0, 0 and 1. Next 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0 and 1, and 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Next 1, 1, 0, 1 and 0, and 1, 1, 1. C out is also 1 and sum is also 1. So from these two columns, we are writing the sum and the C out in terms of summation of mean terms. That is, sum we are writing the terms that are 1 here. This is mean term 1, this is mean term 2, mean term 4 and mean term 7. So this sum can be written as the summation of mean terms 1, 2, 4 and 7. Similarly, C out, this one is 3, 5, 6 and 7. So C out can be written as a summation of mean terms 3, 5, 6 and 7. Now this should be clear to all of you that how we are getting the sum and the Cout. From here, we are listing the mean terms for sum, and similarly, we will list the mean terms for Cout. After that, we will get the input values, and after that, we will draw the circuit. Now, see why we are using 4:1 multiplexer. See, in this case, in case of full adder, there are three variables A, B, and C. So, three variables, what does it mean? Three variables means if we are presenting it in n plus 1, so n will be equal to 2. That is, there will be two select lines. And two select lines means this B and C are going as the select line, and A will be going as the input. Now, we are listing the mean terms for sum. So, there are four inputs D0, D1, D2 and D3, and this one is A and A bar. We are making a table like this. So, there are 8 boxes. 8 boxes means 8 main terms. So, starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now, we will look for the values or the main terms that are present in the sum expression. So, the main terms present are 1, 2, 4 and 7. So, we already know that the main terms that are present, we have to encircle them. So, we have encircled with 1, 2, 4 and 7. So, this 4 present means this 4 corresponds to A. This 1 corresponds to A bar. This 2 corresponds to A bar. And this 7 corresponds to A. So, here what we can write, it is A bar, and A. Now, we have got the input values for sum. Next, we will list the mean terms for Cout. So, similarly, in case of Cout also, there will be 4 inputs D0, D1, D2 and D3. And here we are writing A and A bar, and there are 8 main terms in the 8 boxes. So, we will look for the main terms that are present in the Cout expression, that is 3, 5, 6 and 7. So, we are encircling it 3, 5, 6 and 7. So, see how we are writing these values. Now, see these two main terms, both the main terms are not present in the expression, so it is 0. Next is this 5 is present, since 5 corresponds to A, so we've written here A. Next is this 6 is present, this 6 corresponds to A, again it will be A here, and here both the mean terms are present, so it is A plus of A bar, that is 1. So the input values are 0, A and 1. Next, we have to draw the logic circuit. Now look here that in case of full adder, there are two outputs, sum and Cout. So here there will be two outputs, sum and carry, or sum or Cout. You can write both things, sum and carry we've written here, and there are two select lines B and C in, and this is a 4:1 multiplexer 1, and this is the 4:1 multiplexer 2. Now there are 4 input lines starting from D0, D1, D2 and D3, and here also there are 4 input lines D0, D1, D2 and D3. Now here this A is connected to an inverter. Okay, this A is connected to an inverter, and look these values. This is in case of sum, this is A bar, A bar. So the inputs are A bar and A. So this A is connected to D0. So it is A. Let us write here. This is A. Next again, this D1 is connected to A bar. So from here we have connected to inverter. So for inverter, A bar is coming, so it is A bar. Next, again D2 is connected to A bar. Similarly, again this is extended and connected to D2. So again this is A bar. Similarly here in D3, see the value is A. So here A is extended and we are writing the value A. I hope this is clear. Next, this Cout. This D0 is connected to 0. So we are giving as 0 here. This D1 is connected to A because D1 is A. This A we are extending and connecting to D1. Next is D2. It is also connected to A like this. And D3 is connected to 1. We are connecting it to 1. Note here that if you are connecting 0 to ground, that is GND, or if you connecting to 1 with plus 5 volt, both are right. Either you give 0 or 1, or you connect to ground or plus 5 volt. Both are correct. I hope this circuit is clear to all of you. How to design full adder circuit using a 4:1 multiplexer. Also similarly, like this only, we have to design a full subtractor using 4:1 multiplexer. Here, what will be the difference? The difference will be the truth table, and obviously the outputs. The outputs are borrow and difference. So you have to find the mean terms of borrow and difference, and then you have to list the mean terms for borrow and difference, and after that you have to draw the logic circuit in the case of the full subtractor circuit. So moving to the next slide is the applications of the multiplexers. So multiplexer circuits find numerous applications in digital systems. Some of the fields where the multiplexing finds immense use are the data selections, data routings, operation sequencing, parallel to serial conversions, waveform generation, and logic function generation. Now let us first start with data routing. Multiplexers can be used to route data from one of several sources to one destination. Next is logic function generator. It is used to implement logic functions in some of the products directly from a truth table without the need for simplification. The logic variables are used as the select inputs, and each data input is connected permanently high or low, as we have seen in the case of the full adder. We have implemented using the multiplexer. Next is the control sequencer. A multiplexer can also be used as a part of the control sequencer. And the last one is parallel to serial converter. Digital systems that process data in parallel form take very less time in order to transmit the information over long distances. The parallel arrangement is undesirable as it requires a large number of transmission lines. Therefore, data in the parallel form is converted to serial form using the multiplexers. And now these were in short the applications of the multiplexers. Next, we are moving to the next slide, that is the decoders. We will be starting the decoders. So, most digital systems have discrete information which are represented by binary codes. A decoder is a combinational circuit where n bits of the binary codes are converted to the power n distinct elements, that is the output lines. Each output line will be activated only for one of the possible combinations of the inputs. That is, n means the inputs are converted to m output lines. That is, m should be less than or equal to the power of n, where the purpose of the decoder is to produce to the power n mean terms from the n variables. If the n-bit decoded information has unused or don't care conditions, the decoder output will be less than 2 to the power n output line. That's why it is given like this. It is less than or equal to the power of n. That is the output lines. The purpose of the decoder is to produce 2 to the power n mean terms from the n variables. So this was in short the decoders. That is, in case of a decoder, n input lines are converted to m output lines, where m is less than or equal to the power of n. This is a very important line in the case of a decoder. Next, we will be designing a 3 to 8 decoder. So in a 3 to 8 decoders, what are the number of inputs? The number of inputs is 3. The number of output lines is 2 to the power of 3, that is 8. As it was already told that m, that is the output lines, corresponds to 2 to the power of n. 2 to the power n means n is the number of the input lines. So 2 to the power n here is 2 to the power of 3, that is 8 output lines. Output variables are mutually exclusive, as only one output line is one at any time. This is a very important line. Next is here 3 to 8 decoder is also called binary to octal decoder. Why? Because as the input represents 3-bit binary number and the output represents 8 digit in the octal number systems. So this is a 3 to 8 decoder, or 3 to 8 decoder is also called binary to octal decoder. I hope it is clear to all of you, this one. All these input lines, output lines, all these things. So moving to the next slide, we will be drawing the truth tables and also the individual expressions of D0, D1, that is the output lines, and also the logic circuit in the case of a 3 to 8 decoder or binary to octal decoder. So in a 3 to 8 decoder, there are 3 inputs, namely A, B and C, and there are 8 outputs, namely D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. These are the outputs. Now, based on these 3 inputs, one of the 8 outputs is selected. See, this based on this, each of one is selected. Here, this D0 is selected. In this case, D1 is selected. Third case, D2, like this, it is going. Just see the spotlight. This is going like this. This is first, then this one is selected, then D2 is selected, D3 is selected, D4, then D5, D6 and D7 is selected. Now this is the truth table of the 3 to 8 decoder. Here we are writing 0 to 7, that is 0, 0, 0. Here D0 is selected, so it is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0. That is 0, 0, 1, that is D1 is selected. Others are 0, that is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0 and 0. Like this 0, 1, 0, that is D2 is selected. Others are 0. Similarly, this 0, 1, 1, that is D3 selected. Others are 0. Similarly, here D4, this is 1, 0, 0, that is 4. So D4 is selected. Others are 0. Next is 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. So 5, that is D5 is selected. Others are 0. Next, this one is 1, 1, 0, that is 6. That is 6 is selected. Others are 0. Next 1 1 1, that is 7, that is 7 is D7 is selected, others are 0. Now from this truth table also it is clear that only one of the 8 outputs, that is D0 to D7, is selected based on this 3 select input lines. Also from here we can get the individual logic expressions of D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. Now let us write the expressions. D0 is equal to what? A bar, B bar, C bar. That is 0 0 0. That's why it is A bar, B bar, C bar. Similarly here D1 is equal to A bar, B bar, C. D2 is equal to A bar, B, C bar. D3 is equal to A bar, B, C. D4 is equal to A, B bar, C bar. D5 is equal to A, B bar, C. D6 is equal to A, B bar, C, A, B, C bar. And D7 is equal to A, B, C. Like this. 7 means 1, 1, 1. So it is A, B and C. So it is going on like this. So from this above expressions or this expression, the circuit of a 3 to 8 decoder can be implemented like this. Just see. This is the circuit. Here it is A, B and C, and here it is D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. It goes on like this. So this circuit has been implemented using 3 NOT gates. This is first NOT gate, second NOT gate and the third NOT gate, and 8 3 input AND gates are used. This one is first AND gate, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and 8. 8 AND gates are used. So this is written here. Now the 3 inputs A, B and C are decoded to 8 outputs, each output representing one of the mean-terms of the 3 input variables. The 3 inverters provide the complement of the inputs and each one of the 8 AND gates generates one of the mean-terms. This D0, what was the expression? Just see here. D0 was A bar. This is A bar coming from the inverter A bar. Let us write here. This is A bar. This is A bar. This is B bar. From here B bar is coming and this is C bar. So C bar. Likewise it is going like this. D1 was A bar, B bar and C. D2 was A bar, B. Just see the lines here. This means B and the line from the inverter means B bar. This means C and the line from the inverter means C bar. Now we were in D2. D2 means A bar, B, C bar. Next is D3. D3 was A bar, B, C. Next is D4. It is A, B bar, C bar. Next is D5. It is A, B bar, C. Next is D6. D6 is A, B and C bar. And D7 is A, B and C. So I hope this circuit is clear to all of you. Now let us move to the next slide, that is cascading of the decoders. Now cascading of the decoder means we have to implement the higher order decoders using the smaller order decoder. That is here what we have to design. We have to design a 4 to 16 decoder. So we have to design a 4 to 16 decoder using 3 to 8 decoders. That is meaning cascading of the decoders. So decoder circuits can be connected together to form a large decoder. So here, if you look here, it is a black box here containing 4 inputs and 16 outputs. And inside the black box, there are some 3 to 8 decoders. That is, here we are using 2 decoders, decoder 1 and decoder 2. Now here see, this A, B and C are the inputs of this first decoder. Similarly, this A, B and C are connected to the inputs of the second decoder. This output of the first decoder is Y0 to Y7. Similarly, in this case, in decoder 2, it is Y8 to Y15. And this is the enable line. This enable line will decide which decoder will be operating in each case. This enable line will decide which decoder will operate in each case. I am repeating this line because this line is very important. This whole circuit is depending on the enable. So this enable is connected to inverter and it is connected to decoder 1, and this enable is connected to decoder 2. Now look here, when E is equal to 0, what will happen? Just let me write here. Yeah, when E is equal to 0, then it is coming to the inverter and the output of the inverter is 1. It is fed to decoder number 1. So decoder number 1 is enabled. Now what happens in the case of this one? When it is going, 0 is connected. Here we are getting 0 here. 0 means this is disabled. So here what happens? When this decoder 1 is enabled, it means that Y0 to Y7 we are getting. That is, it is generated in the output. Similarly, here what happens? Next is when we are giving E is equal to 1. When E is equal to 1, this one is 0 and this one is 1. So here this decoder is disabled and this decoder number 2 is enabled. So this outputs Y8 to Y15 will be generated at the output. So you can see that how this cascading is done using the enable input. This is very important in the case of the cascading of decoders. I hope this cascading of decoders is clear to all of you. This cascading of decoder examples are very important in your semester exams. Now let us move to the next slide, that is applications of the decoders. First application is decoders are used in counter systems. Second is they are used in analog to digital converters. Also, decoder outputs can be used to display systems. Next, so these were the applications of the decoders. So I am very thankful to all of you for listening to me and hope to meet you soon in the next lecture. Thank you all.